Here's another question. What promotions have you worked for locally, and also any promotions out of the state?
Well, locally, it was Badger State, which later became Powerhouse Pro Wrestling. There's Southside Wrestling. I've done Mid American, like I said before.
Hmm.
Uh, Rebels of Wrestling. Seven Rivers Wrestling. Out of the state would be Midwest Pro, Minnesota Independent Wrestling, I think the name of it was. A couple groups down in Illinois, Frontier Pro and the International Wrestling Council. Probably some more that I'm forgetting about. Oh yeah, there's this group in Wisconsin that Peter B used to run. UPW. Yeah, it's been around a little bit.
Okay. What was the highlight of your career that made you who you are?
I like of my career that made me who I am. I think pretty much covered this before, where I think my match against Kingpin was very special. It was, my final match against Kingpin. I consider him a good friend of mine. Um, and it was the last match of his career and the last powerful for the title defense. And that's, I can back and say, that was a good tribute. I think to Bob. I think he would have liked it. So, as far as making me who I am today, it's hard to say. I think I've pretty much been the same person I've always been throughout the whole wrestling business. But that's, I think, haven't. And I guess it doesn't really change me too much. I suppose, if you've known me through all these years, maybe people might disagree with that. But I don't know.
Okay, because I know you want to like stay who you are and don't want to change it because like I know in wrestling you go through so much before and after a match and things like that. So I can understand that part. Here's another question. Who in indie wrestling you haven't wrestled yet, but you would like to wrestle?
In wrestling, you say it was in indie wrestling, right?
Right.
Um, Indie wrestling. Gosh, I can't really even. Well, actually, one name comes to mind. I tell him this every time I see him. That's Steve Stardom. Um, he's a guy that wrestles out of Minnesota, mostly I think in Wisconsin, but uh, he's great. For some reason, we just never crossed paths that much, but I just thought we'd have a pretty good match. Some similar styles and stuff like that. So I don't really follow a lot of the other indie promotions that I'm not with. So kind of hard to get a feel of players and all that kind of stuff. But
Okay, so the wrestler Steve Stardom from band in Minnesota, and
well, actually, I think he might be their thing, but I don't remember that.
oh, okay, just remember from that part. Um, who would you like to wrestle nationally?
Nationally, mm, maybe AJ Styles. I mean, you hear the great things about him and stuff like that.
Good choice.
I mean, and I like to put myself doing stuff like that and grind it down if I have to. But I think it was a pretty decent match. I mean, I've always, Ric Flair, he said he retired a couple years ago, but he's coming back every few months too.
Right.
But I think that could come true too. I mean, I've been watching him since 1986, so if they like done that, and been in the ring with the guy, even as just speaking, I think.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see you against AJ Styles. That would be something to see. I will put my money on that match. A question from a fan. What do you like about the indie federations that you work with?
I mean, in particular,
Yeah. somebody said if you ever own a wrestling fed, they got a name for you. They call it the People's Court Wrestling.
I've never heard of it.
Well, I guess that would be for you if you ever decide to own a fed yourself. Are you thinking
Oh
of doing
yeah,
anything like that?
I've heard of my own, yeah. I like to call all the fans my jury.
That would be something to see. Here's another question. If you were given the chance, would you want to work for WWE or TNA, and why?
I think TNA, just it seems that you're able to be yourself more there. Whereas WWE, it seems like you're scripted from the moment you wake up till the moment you finally commission it. It seems like you have more freedom and you're secure a little more. And what was right to do with night traveling, what was I do? I wanted to let alone work. So probably TNA. Although haven't really given people reason to but
Okay. Since you made your decision that you would, if you have a chance, go to TNA, explain to people your take of the difference between WWE and, in my opinion, I think is kind of going downhill at the moment to TNA that needs like that one big push for them to be up there. What would you like to say to people that's like watching and trying to debate which one they better off watching?
honestly, I haven't really seen a lot of either group the last few months. But
You probably wouldn't want to.
WWE
Well, WWE you don't.
already. Um, I mean, pretty much everyone wants to get where the WWE is. But I think they're going to growing pains right now as far as using a lot of the younger wrestlers like the Miz and Nexus and all them guys. Guys that you didn't even hear of 5 years ago. I mean, you're gonna have some real stuff and these guys get more experience. But okay, I think the difference there is the teams what there's uh, many people running the show. Like you got Dixie Carter, you've got other agents and all of the other people
Right.
bringing their agents on what to do and some other purpose. Like they're in control, but WWE, control that man. So um, you just have to have some one person that's on it.
Oh, okay. I know you said this answer earlier, but I guess a fan had to ask this. What made you become like the character Judge Jesse?
I was going through some they're all spectacular, but I was treading water a little bit with my character. I was the jumping Jesse. I was basically a guy that just ran around in a football jersey and hey, I'm jumping Jesse and did a thing, but um, it wasn't really getting anywhere. So I decided to make some tweaks and stuff until I came up with this exact idea in my head that hey, these are garbage, thinking of different names I could use as J. Well, there you go. So get to look across the head my gavel, issue some things, and there you go.
Okay. Another question. What can we expect from you in the future?
The effect for me in the future, I think, uh, well, I'm gonna put as much as I can, or on series or whatnot. Probably within a certain radius. I don't want to, go to Montana or someplace like that, but within a reasonable range. Wrestle for Pro next month, some more Fusion and Death and River all next month. So looking forward to all those groups. And SWC obviously starting up. Sounds he really is putting a lot of time into this. So we'll that too.
Okay. Another question. Do you like singles action or a tag team?
of it, you don't have to worry about uh, this part so much, or there's so many different ways that the tag match can go wrong. Whereas if it's a single match, I have nobody to blame myself, and I'm pretty much responsible for what I'm doing in there at least.
Okay. If you end up with like a tag team partner, who would it be in your opinion? Who would you like to be your tag team partner?
Tag team partner, I've always thought that the guy that I used to wrestle in Badger 8 and Powerhouse Early on was Styles. I've always thought that we would be a good team. We did team on one or two occasions, but just for some, I need to wrestle anymore. I know he's in Florida or something. Um, and I can't really say for sure any other people that I've worked with that much taken.
Well, it seems like you have a challenge to a match by Juicy Johnny. He said he want a match with you, and the loser goes to the chair of death.
There.
Huh, maybe that'll happen in the X